How's everybody doing? It's time for another episode of Damien Ruins Horror Movies. My name is Damien, and tonight's episode is brought to you by Cool Dude Inc. Go ahead and click the link in the notes, check out some shirts, and go make yourself look good. Tonight we'll be looking at the final episode of Tales from the Crypt Season 1, Season Finale. It's called Collection Completed. Kind of a fitting title. But first, cue the whiskey beds. After 47 years of employment, Jonas comes home with a box of stuff. He is retired, but it's called a mandatory retirement. But it looks like he just got fired. It sounds like he got fired.
This motherfucker got fired.
There's no such thing as walking papers. It's just a box of your shit as you walk out the door that final time. And because it's early and he's not even drunk, so that means there was no going away party, nothing. Just here's your box, get the fuck out of here. His weird wife, Anita, Mrs. Roper from Three's Company, she's friends with animals, which really pisses him off. And there's animals everywhere. Now that he's retired, he has no identity. Even though he just came home from getting mandatorily retired. But she's having a little party for him. But he's like, you know what? Because she's being like joyful, supportive, and like she's being a good sport. I mean, it's not her life that just changed, although it's about to. Because he's going to be home all the time. But he's like, nah, you know what? I'm really not up for a party. I'm just going to go upstairs. It's not that early. Yeah, it was dark outside. It's not early. But he still clearly didn't go to a party. So she goes in the room where the party was going to be. It looks like a party, like a little birthday party for a 7-year-old. And instead of friends being in there, it's all these animals. It's like Dr. Dolittle in there. Or Ace Ventura. There's squirrels and cats and dogs. Some birds, I think. And she talks to them like they're people. She's like, oh, looks like Jonas won't be joining us at the party after all. He warns her. It's like a threat. You're not going to need those animals around for long because now Daddy's back in town. In the morning he wakes up. He's not used to her. Usually, I'm guessing that she was still sleeping every day when he got up normally because he's not used to her being around when it's time for his morning shit. And she's in the bathroom and he's patiently waiting. He starts brushing his teeth. It's like he's never had a toothbrush before. He's just like, toothbrush everywhere. She's like, oh, you look like a mad dog. You're foaming at the mouth. Like, it's cute, and it's not. It's disgusting. You're a grown man. You're 64 years old. You should know how to brush your fucking teeth by now. But I'm kind of understanding, because when he wakes up, he's staring at the clock, and it's 8:31 forever. And what he's really doing in this moment where he's dreading getting up, it's not that he doesn't want to get up. Well, first he gets mad. No, first the alarm doesn't go off, and she wakes him up at 8:30 or at 8:31, and he's like, what the fuck? Because he forgot that he doesn't have a job anymore. Then he sits there staring at the clock for the longest time. And at this point, I realize, oh, he's wanting her to get out of the bathroom because he's got to take a shit. You know, you got to take a shit, but you don't want anybody to know, so you got to do all this weird stuff and act like you don't got a shit until you can finally get to a spot. The good thing about shit, though, is eventually it'll go away. The feeling, like it doesn't go, it compacts and gets smaller. Like your bladder doesn't do that. If you got to piss, you got to piss. But if you got to poop, you can wait a little while and your stomach will take care of it. It'll put it off for you. There's a little science for you. In the last episode, we watched a guy marry a virgin, and now we're watching a guy who, after 47 years, I'm assuming he's been married about the same time as he had the job. He's had her convinced for 47 years that he doesn't poop. That's a miserable life. But he eventually gets to poop. Now, he was forced into retirement, so not having anything to do it's really hard for him. Like I said, that was his identity. But like, easy there, Jonas, Mr. Oh, I feel useless, I'm gonna go stir crazy. She's like, why don't you have a beer and pass out early while you watch TV? He's like, I don't feel like I've earned it. But it's like, easy there, Jonas. You were a judge. You weren't, and this isn't a knock on judges, I'm just saying, your job consisted of you sitting on your ass all day anyway. Now you act like you used to build stuff and now sitting still makes you crazy. You're essentially doing the same thing. It's just nobody's talking to you. And he gets really irritated with Anita's little friends. Almost like he's jealous of them, but he fucking hates them. And I could see, like, you can like animals, and then if you're around them this much and have somebody around you that acts like she does, I could see, like, those animals don't have a chance. You're not going to like them. That's just the way it is. You know how some people can be annoying, like say, Xbox is pretty cool, but then you meet somebody who's just obsessed with it, and after a while you're like, fuck Xbox. I never want to get that fucking... It's just irritating when people are too into shit, and you got to be around it. That's why I live in people's heart. You got to witness all their stupid things they like. More and more, he realizes that he treats her like one of the pets. She treats him like he's one of the pets. And it really bothers him. So we change scenes and we see it, we're panned in on her, and she's having a talk with him. She's being very understanding, empathetic, and she even apologizes. But then we pan away from her, she's talking to Mew Mew, her new stupid cat, this whole time. And he's like in the back watching, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That would kind of suck to retire one day and realize that you've been married to a crazy person this whole time. And it didn't matter until now. And now you're stuck with her and it's too late to move on. She later discovers his new hobby after she had introduced him to Jonas the bulldog that she named after him. She asks him later if he's seen Jonas. And he says, well, yes, I have. He's out back. And he takes her to her. And he's standing still. And then his eyes light up. And she's like, what the fuck? Jonah's new hobby is taxidermy. Except in this case, he's made, which this would be hard to do. I don't know how he knows how to do it. Oh, you're a judge and you're great with electronics. He's turned Bulldog Jonas into a remote control doll, which horrifies Anita. And she starts finding all of her animals are stuffed. He's been taking her animals down to the basement and killing them and gutting them and sewing them back up. Now, Anita has seemed a little off this whole episode, but she's been a housewife for 47 years. She's probably going a little stir crazy. Jonas, what the fuck? He's been retired for like a day or two and now he's killing animals and stuffing them? What's he gonna do next week? But that being said, I'm not sure who the asshole is. I don't know who to root for in this case. She's crazy and he's a fucking asshole. But Anita does get the slight edge because she is Mrs. Roper and I love Three's Company. So he kills all of her animals and stuffs them except for Mew Mew. Poor little Mew Mew. And he pulls Mew Mew out of a drawer and he's like, this one's next. They're in the basement. And she's like, she's discovering that they're all dead. He's like, they're not all dead. I still got Mew Mew. And the idea of him killing Mew Mew is too much for her. Even though Mew Mew's new, she's had Mew Mew she got him the day he retired. She found him on the doorstep. But she's not going to let him get away with killing Mew Mew too. And she takes a sledgehammer and whacks him in the head. And then for our plot twist, I don't know if this is really a plot twist. It kind of is. It's the twist for the episode. She taxidermies his ass. And then he's sitting on the couch, all stuffed like an idiot, just staring like she wanted him to. Just sit on the couch. Not a couch, but he's sitting in his lazy boy in front of the TV, just like she wanted him to. And everything, I don't know. I mean, she can go out and get new animals. She's got the life that she wanted, as long as the cops don't start sniffing around. Which they probably will, because the neighbor Roy, who I've never mentioned, he shows up. But I'm not convinced that she hasn't been fucking Roy this whole time. So that wraps up the season finale. The first season of Tales from the Crypt. When I mentioned, not my favorite season. It's not bad. It's just, it's soft compared to the other ones. It's like they're just getting their feet wet. And season 2 is when it starts getting good. So get out there and watch it. I got a link in the notes where you can watch it on YouTube. It's got all 7 seasons. I haven't proved that, but that's how I started. I started watching it on there when I started these. So go to that. I also put a link to, you can buy the whole series. It's like $90 on Amazon. You can probably find it on eBay, but I didn't put any links for that because eBay always changes. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Go watch some Tales from the Crypt because we're gonna start season 2 this week. And I don't have a schedule, so subscribe and turn on those notifications. I will see you soon.